Hello everyone. In the other video we talks about the migration of Abraham, alright, when he left his father's house, the house of Terah in West Africa. Okay, when he left his father's house, Terah in Niger, right, going to where? To promised land, to the land of Canaan. Right. So when he left there, he dwelled in somewhere in what? In Bethel. Okay, he dwelled in Bethel. This is Bethel. And Ai, the mountain Ai. Ai is a mountain. So Eswatini, this is Eswatini, the whole of this Eswatini is a mountain. So this is the mountain Ai. Alright, having Ai in the east and the Bethel in the west. Okay, so let's read this. Before he goes down to Egypt, alright, where he is about to possess the land of the Canaan, alright. So when he found a famine here, so he went down to Egypt. This is how the map is. Alright, he went down to Egypt. Yes, this is how our map is. Don't change our map. This is how our map is. Okay, so let's read this. And Abraham went up out of Egypt, he and his wife, and all that he had. And Lot went with him into the south. Right, so this is where Abraham was in Egypt, and then he went to walk out of Egypt, he and his wife, and Lot, into the south. Right, let's read this in Genesis 13:3. And he went on his journey from the south, even to Bethel, unto the place where his tent had been at the beginning, between Bethel and Ai. So he go back to where his tent has been in the beginning, right? Having Bethel in the west and Ai in the east, the mountain Ai in the east, right? So let's read this. I'm just summarizing. And Abraham removed his tent and came and dwelt in the plain of what? Mamre, which is in Hebron, and built there an altar unto the Most High. So when he removed his tent over here in Bethel, so he goeth straight to Mamre. This is Mamre over here, right? He go to Mamre. This is Mamre. This is Mamre. Okay, near where? In Hebron. Okay, in Hebron. This is Hebron, right? Close there, because Abraham was going what? Up to the south. When he left Egypt, he was going up to the south. This is the edge of the place the Most High gave him, the land of the Canaan. Alright, so in this video here, we are going to look at the sons of Abraham, right? The sons of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Okay, so let's look at this. Let's read this. Alright, let's look at this. In Genesis chapter 25 verse 20, and Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah to wife, the daughter of Bethuel, the Syrian of Padan Aram, the sister to Laban, the Syria. You see, they changed Syria, they changed Aram to Syria. This is what they do. Look at this. Syria in Strong H761. Aram, they changed Syria to Aram. They changed Aram to Syria. Alright, so Aram dwell in what? In West Africa. Okay, when you put Syria, that's not the story. You will not get the story, alright? It's Aram. Okay, that's why they say, go, arise, go to it, to Padan Aram. Look at this. And Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah to wife, and the daughter of Bethuel, the Syrian, or the Aram of Padan Aram, the sister to Laban, the Assyria. Alright, so this is Isaac. This is Abraham sending his son Isaac to go and marry Rebekah, the daughter of who? Bethuel. And Bethuel is the son of Nahor, right? The brother of Abraham, right? So Abraham was sending his son Isaac to go there and marry Rebekah. Okay, so let's look at this. Alright, so when Isaac married Rebekah, Isaac dwelled in where? In Beersheba. When his father died in Mamre, so Isaac came and dwelled in where? In Beersheba. And he came up, and he went up from thence to where? To Beersheba. This is Isaac when they found the well. Alright, so we are going to focus on Jacob. Okay, so and Isaac, in Genesis chapter 28 verse 1, and Isaac called Jacob and increased him and charged him and said unto him, thou shalt not take a wife of the daughters of Canaan. So these are the Canaanites over there. So he was telling him not to take a wife from the house or from the land of the Canaan. Okay, let's read this. Let's look at this. He told him in verse 2, arise, go to Padan Aram. You see, this Padan over here, they're trying to identify something to us here, like they're trying to explain it to us. Padan is Cameroon, while Aram is Nigeria, the border between Cameroon and Nigeria. Right? Arise, go to Padan, Cameroon, Aram, Nigeria, to the house of Bethuel, their mother's father, and take thee a wife from thence, of the daughters of Laban, their mother's brother. You see, so when Rachel comes and married Isaac, and Isaac, when she gave birth to Jacob, they are sending their son Jacob again to go back to the house. They don't want to mix up the DNA, no. So they're sending their son Jacob, to go back to their house again, to marry who? Rachel, right? To marry Rachel, the daughter of Laban. Okay, all right. Let's look at this. So let's read this. Okay, so alright, and Isaac sent away Jacob, and he went to Padan Aram, Cameroon, Nigeria, unto Laban, son of Bethuel, the Aram, the brother of Rebekah, Jacob and Esau's mother. Right? So this is where they change Assyria to Aram. Okay, so in verse 28, verse 7, and Jacob obeyed his father and his mother, and was gone to what? To Padan Aram. Right? He obeyed his mother, and then he was going to where? To Padan Aram. They were in where? In Beersheba. Look at this. This is where they are. This is Beersheba. When they left Mamre, when his father died in Mamre, so Isaac comes and dwell in where? In Beersheba. This is where Isaac dwell. Beersheba, still in this out there. Alright, so this is where Isaac was sending Jacob to go to where? To his mother's brother house, to marry Laban, to marry the daughter of Laban. Right? In Haran, Padan, the border between Cameroon, this is Padan, and Aram, Nigeria. Right? Let's look at this. And Jacob went out from Beersheba, right, and went toward Haran. He went toward out of Beersheba. This is where they are with his father, and went toward Haran. When you look at that old map we shows here, where is Haran located? Let's look at this. This is the Ramses map collection 7011. You can get access to it at any time, right? You have a lot. When you type the Ramses map collection, there are a lot of map, right? A lot of map. Okay, so he was in where? In the south, in Beersheba, and the father was sending him to where? To Haran. This is Haran. In the house of where? Laban, to marry Laban's daughter. This is Haran. Alright. So let's look at this. And he lighted upon a settled place, and tarried there all night, because the sun was set. And he took off the stones of the place, and put them for his pillow, and lay down in that place to sleep. Right? This is where he left Beersheba, and he was going to where? To Haran. Alright. And he dreamed, and behold, a ladder set up on the earth, and the top of it reached to heaven. And behold, the angel of the mighty one are ascending and descending on it. What does this verse mean? Why are the angels ascending and descending? You know, Jacob was about to go to where? To the house of Laban to marry Rachel, because you see, Jacob is the father of many nations. Yes, all the children of Jacob are nations. Today, yes, the children so are nations. So what the Moses was doing to Jacob here, when he slept there and he saw a ladder was descending and ascending, the Most High is transferring DNA to Jacob. Yes, the Most High was transferring DNA to Jacob. I want us to look at this. Let's look at this. Type in your keyboard like you want to type DNA. Look at this. This is the ladder that Jacob saw. So this ladder is connected to what? To his DNA. Yes, this is the real ladder of Jacob. This is how the ladder that Jacob saw. It's not that present map that you see like is somehow no. This is the ladder that Jacob saw. So the angel are descending and ascending. They are transferring what they need to him. Alright? So let's continue this. And behold, the mighty one stood above it and said, I am the mighty one of Abraham thy father, and the mighty one of Isaac, and the land whereon thou layest, to thee will I give it, and to thy seed. And Jacob awake out of his sleep, and he said, surely the mighty one is in this place, and I knew it not. And he was afraid and said, how dreadful is this place? This is none other but the house of the mighty one, and this is the gate of heaven. And he called the name of that place Bethel, but the name of the place was called Luz at first. When you look at this, this is Bethel. This is where this is where Jacob lay. Alright, this is where Jacob slept. When he left Beersheba. When he left Beersheba over here. Right? So he came and dwelt here. He slept here. Okay? Because he was going to where? To Padan Aram, the border between Cameroon and Aram. Okay, let's go to this. And Jacob went on his journey and came into the land of the people of the east. Right? And Jacob said unto them, my brethren, hence be he. And they said, of Haran are we. Right? So Abraham already reached to where? To Haran. And Jacob already reached to Haran, to the house of who? Laban. Okay, let's look at this. Let's look at this map. Where is the house of Laban? Let's look at this. Is more world map, right? This is world map. So where is the house of Laban? You see, this is the house of Laban in Sokoto State, Nigeria. Present time Nigeria. Right? You see this? This is the house of Laban, Labani. Go to where? To Padan Aram. When you look at this map, the old map very well, Haran is somewhere here. Right? Let's look at Haran. Let's look at Haran. Haran. Let's look at Haran. Right? You see this? Haran. Go to where? To Padan, which is Cameroon. Aram, the house of who? Haran. Look at this. Let me read this for you to see it very clearly. Right? And Jacob went out from Beersheba and went toward Haran. Okay? And Jacob obeyed his father and his mother and was gone to where? To Padan Aram. So he's trying to tell you that the border between where? Between Cameroon is Padan and Aram or Haran is Nigeria. Right? Go to Haran, to the house of thy mother's brother, to marry who? Rebecca, in the house of who? Laban in Sokoto State, Nigeria. Right? Let's look at this. Right? This is Labani. Let's look at Weda Cave. Or Weda Cave would bring out this thing to us here. Let's look at Weda Cave. You see this? Labani. This is Labani, Sokoto State, Nigeria. Today is 17th. You see? This is Weda there over there. Labani. Let's look at the house of Haran. This is Labani in Sokoto State, Nigeria. Right? So let's look at Haran. This is Haran. Borno State. This is Haran. Let's go deep in it. Let's see. What will it show us? Harang. You see, the spelling is having G at end. Harang. When you look at the old map, you will see that this location, Haran here, is in the same location here. This is Borno up here. This is Borno. And then this is Haran down there. When you look at the old map very, very well. We are going to show this old map very well. We are going to look at this old map. Let's look at where that cave, whether it will bring Haran to us. Haran is having G, right? Haran Borno. Let's just type Haran. You see, it's still there in Nigeria, Borno. This is it. Haran. Oh, you need to see the old map. You need to see the old map where the location of that Haran was. You see, this is Haran. Look at this very well. Is this not Haran? This is Haran. And then this is King of Borno. Look at this. Look at this very well. This is Haran. And then this is Borno up there. You see, this is Maiduguri, that Maiduguri. This is Borno up. And this is Haran. When you look here, you will see this here. This is Haran. And this is Borno State over here. And then this is Haran. Still stood in the same location. This is 1711 map. Oh, it's your story. All the children of Abraham, all the children of Jacob were born in where? In Sokoto State, Nigeria. This is where all the children of Jacob were born. It's your story.